I was a practicing clinician working in a home health agency model. I wasn't allowed to dose my patients as per best practice guidelines. So I said, there's gotta be a way to do this better.
My grandmother and my grandfather, I started seeing them going in and out of long-term care. It started personal, seeing the sick side of 80, and now it's been exciting to be part of Fox.
Light bulb moment.
Like, that's a complete game changer.
You can see what we can do as a practice and as treating clinicians to really make 80, 85 look so much different than it did back that long ago.
And boil it down into one saying, it's quite simply this. It's be stronger, live better longer.
Welcome to Fox Rehabilitation's Live Better Longer podcast, the podcast dedicated to clinicians who work with older adults. My name is Jim Shear, and today my co-host is Fox physical therapist Shweta Khanna. Shweta, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
This is rare because we've actually met each other in real life. A lot of times on the Live Better Longer podcast, it's just a whole virtual thing, but we met. I mean, we've corresponded through email, but we met like a couple of months ago.
Yes.
In Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
In Cherry Hill, New Jersey, yes.
And did I bug you about doing a podcast, or did you approach me? I probably bugged you.
No, I think it was pretty mutual. Nobody bugged each other.
Because a lot of times when we're together at home office, I'll say,
Yes.
hey, like you should do a podcast. And like,
Yeah.
what? Hold on, what? All right, so it was mutual. So that makes me feel better that I
Yes.
didn't twist your arm.
No, you did not.
Okay. So today we're going to talk about nutrition in senior living communities.
Yes.
To me, another fascinating topic. I love talking about food. And it's interesting because in senior living communities, you know, you want to keep those older adults healthy by exercising. A lot of people maybe don't take into consideration that nutrition plays a huge role in that, of keeping them healthy.
Absolutely. Yes. So when we talk about health, you know, there are definitely, there's more than one component to it. Of course, exercise and physical activity is a huge component of it, but also unless and until we kind of complement that with adequate nutrition and balanced diet, you know, we won't be able to see the results that one expects to see. So, you know, when we talk about balanced diet, you know, like what is balanced diet? You know, Google defines balanced diet as a healthy diet that maintains or improves someone's overall health. To me, balanced diet is not just about what to eat. There are three components to a balanced diet. It's what you eat, how much do you eat, and when do you eat. You have to think about all these three things when you're talking about a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle.
Now, what you're about to go into today, this also applies for people who may not consider themselves to be older adults, correct?
Exactly, yes.
So everyone listening should be taking notes right now, including me, which I'm doing. Because what perked me up was when you said, when you eat. I was like, really? All right, but you do your thing. You said, what you eat, how much you eat, when you eat. Continue, Shweta.
Yes.
Don't let me get in your way.
No, you're good. You're good. I will appreciate you getting in my way. So please, just ask questions, interrupt me, stop me.
No, I will. That's my style.
So I'm going to break down these three components as we talked about what to eat, how much to eat, and when to eat. So talking about what to eat. A nutritious diet should comprise of your macros and micros, which your macronutrients and micronutrients. Macros are pretty much your basics, your carbohydrates, also known as carbs, your proteins, and your fats. And then micros are your vitamins, your minerals. Typically, for a healthy diet, for an average, human adult, a healthy diet would comprise of 50% carbs, 30% protein, and 20% fats. And of course, maintaining the hydration status, drinking enough water throughout the day.
Okay, wait, can we go back? So it's carbs 50%, protein 30%,
yes,
fat 20%.
20%, yes. Okay. When we talk about the water content, so for every pound one weighs, an ounce of water for that. So if someone weighs 100 pounds, 100 ounces of water is ideal for them in a 24-hour period. A
Okay.
half an ounce is also good. A half an ounce for every pound one weighs, but ideally, if one can shoot for an ounce for every pound, that's ideal.
Okay.
So coming back to how much to eat.
Okay.
Again, the definition of balanced will change from individual to individual. It's not one size fits all, right?
Okay.
It really depends on what your what your activity level is and what your goal is. It's kind of intertwined with what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to gain weight? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to manage your blood glucose levels if you have diabetes? Are you trying to manage your salt consumption if you have congestive heart failure? So it's very tailor made depending on what your needs are. Typically, how you calculate how much one should eat in a day or how many calories one should consume in a day. So you take how much you weigh and then you multiply it with a certain number. So let's say a person weighs about 100 pounds. So we'll keep 100 that as
Okay.
as our example. So if one is obese or like sedentary lifestyle, you multiply your weight by 10. If someone is averagely active, you multiply your weight by 12. And when I say average active, how do you define average active? Average active is 30 minutes of exercise 2 to 3 times a week. And then if someone's very active, you multiply that by 15.
So, Shweta, if anyone notices that the audio is a little bit different, my internet is completely fried. So we have now switched over to telephones, like they used to do in the olden days of podcasting. All right. Sorry to cut you off, Shweta. So continue.
So if someone's active and weighs about 100 pounds, their average calorie consumption in a 24-hour period would be 13 multiplied by 100, which is 1300. So if one's trying to maintain their weight, that should be the number of calories that they can consume or should consume in a day.
Okay.
Now, if someone's trying to lose weight, then you subtract 500 calories from that, and that should be your calorie consumption. And then again, if you're trying to gain weight, then you add 500 calories to your what your average calorie consumption should be. Where this 500 comes from, like it's not just some arbitrary number. The 500 comes from the fact that 1 pound of fat weighs 3,500 calories. So if you divide 3,500 by 7, that's 500. And that's how those 500 calories come in the calculation. So if you're trying to lose, you cut down by 500 calories. And if you're trying to gain, you add 500 calories in your daily consumption.
And then is that losing a pound? Would you lose a pound a day, or how does that break down? It's probably different for everyone.
So if you're following this particular formula that I just talked about, then you're losing a pound per week.
Oh, per week. Okay.
Per week, yes, and that's one of the healthiest, weight loss criteria. Like if you're losing a pound a week, if you subtract 500 calories in your daily consumption, one tends to lose a pound a week.
Okay.
And again, continuing with how much to eat. If you can measure and eat, great. But if measurement is not available, if it's not an option, approximation, estimation works fine too. So just to give you some examples, like a woman's fist is about half cup of vegetables.
Is that half a cup of vegetables?
Half a cup of vegetables,
okay.
Yes. If you're eating an apple should be the size of a tennis ball. Like if you're eating an apple bigger than that, then that's more calories that you're consuming.
Okay.
So a tennis ball should be is the size of an apple. The end of your thumb is about a serving of mayo. So that's your fats.
Okay.
And then one deck of cards is about one serving of meat, which is about 3 ounces.
Like how much should we get in a given day? Like fruits, vegetables, meats, carbs?
If one is just trying to maintain where they are, 50% carbs, 30% protein,
Okay.
and then 20% fat. But if one's trying to build muscle, then you need to have a lot more protein than one would need the carbs. So it's not really one size fits all. It
Got
really
it.
depends on how much you weigh, what your lean body mass is. What your fat percentage is, your body fat percentage is, and based on that, you'll plug in some numbers, and you can get exact grams of proteins and carbs one should consume. But ideally, like if one's just trying to maintain, it would be 50% carbs, 30% protein,
Got it.
20% fat, and then of course it will vary depending on what one is trying to achieve.
Okay.
And when we are calculating our calories or how much we need to eat, another thing that we actually don't give our senior residents enough credit for is the technology. A lot of them actually are very technology, are inclined towards technology and would use it. Most of the people do have smartphones these days, so you can actually download these apps, MyFitnessPal or Macros or Healthify Me, and you can actually put in whatever you are eating, and the app actually calculates for you. This should be your intake. This is what you've already eaten. This is the amount of carbs you have left for the day. So it will do all those nice calculations for you. So share those resources with the patients. Let them know about these apps, and that will definitely be helpful.
And that leads us into the third step, right? When
Yes.
when to eat. Now,
When to eat,
why
yes.
does that factor in? Because you
So
always
that-
hear things like, I've heard things throughout the years where it's like, you shouldn't eat fruit after 2:00, and you shouldn't eat this after 7:00 at night, and you should only eat this between this hour and that hour. So why is it important when we eat?
It's important when we eat, is because our body's metabolism is different throughout the day, because we're active. We're up on our feet, we're moving around, so you're actually able to digest things quicker. You're actually able to you're able to burn those calories a lot more, and especially if one has like any underlying medical conditions, like which a lot of our patient population does, like diabetes. So if you're having something, having a snack which is really high in carbs, that will definitely increase your fasting blood sugar levels. So avoiding carbs late at night or late in the evening would be really good. Like avoiding snacks at night would be the best way to go. But if one eats really early dinner, like really early in the evening, and then has to have a bedtime snack, choosing a healthier option like walnuts or almonds or like celery would definitely be a better choice than eating a bag of chips or eating pudding or something like that. There's an old saying, for, like they say, for breakfast eat like an emperor, for lunch eat like a prince, and for dinner eat like a beggar. So really kind of
I always thought like you would go big during lunch, but you're saying go big for breakfast.
Go big for breakfast, because that's your fuel for the day. Like, that's the first meal that you consume. You're active throughout the day. You're able to burn those calories a lot faster. And also, let's say you want to, and like, just to give you an example, like eating bananas. If you think about it, it's a fruit. It's considered healthy, but bananas is like, it's not the healthiest fruit to eat. But again, depending, like when you eat a banana can also affect your metabolism and your sugar levels. So if you choose to eat a banana before the workout, it's much better, because you'll be burning up those calories.
Yeah, you sent me a list of the glycemic index, and the ones that are super high: watermelon, pineapple, cantaloupe, raisins, mango, banana.
Yes.
And then I like there's a little sidebar, and I think you may have written a note, and it says, yes, it is high on the glycemic index, but it is better than cracker and chips.
And if you're not struggling with, if a person's not struggling with, or does not have diabetes, it's okay to eat fruits, because fruits have something called as fructose, which is a natural sugar. It's not any extra sugar added. Fruits have their own sugar. But for people with diabetes, how much fruits they consume can also be a big that can play a very important role in how well their blood sugar levels is controlled. So fruits are good. And then if someone does have diabetes, then you really need to watch out like what fruits one is eating. So maybe like apples would be great, but as you said, watermelons are really high. Watermelon has like a GI index of 72, I think. And then pineapple is really high up there. Also, pineapple is 66.
You know what's
Pretty
crazy,
much
Shweta? Dates,
What?
and I know a lot of older
Yes.
adults who eat dates. It's 100.
Yes.
It's 103 on the glycemic
103.
index. Ice cream is only
Yes.
61.
Yes.
So for
Yeah,
some
dates
people, is it better to
Yeah.
eat ice cream than dates?
And dates, yes, for some people, yes, because dates do have a very high GI index.
Question about fruits. Someone
Yes.
once told me that whenever you eat fruits, you should eat those first. So let's say if you're having breakfast, you should eat the fruit first because it digests better or something. And then someone also told
Yes.
me that you shouldn't eat fruits after 2 p.m. Is that an urban
Yeah.
legend? Is that a conspiracy theory? Why would we not want to eat fruits after, say, 2 p.m.?
So yes, fruit. It's always recommended to eat fruits earlier in the day, in the earlier part of the day, because fruits, as I said, they do have their own sugar. So fruits do come with fructose, which is fruit sugar. And fruits also have carbs.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's why. So the lesser carbs one eats as the day progresses, the better off one is. That's why.
So I want to talk about treating an older adult patient. So here at Fox, we treat a patient for a certain amount of time. So Shweta, how do you educate them and make good nutrition a part of their lifestyle?
That's very important, And I took a class once, Jim, where the instructor said, nutrition is not an opinion, it is science. So true, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I feel like just talking to our patients about, everything that we've talked about so far and really emphasizing it's not really about going on a diet. It's about mindset. It's about lifestyle, So not implementing those changes for like a week or a couple of weeks, but really kind of thinking about your lifestyle, thinking about the mindset, eating healthy throughout the year and staying active. And then also, just when I talk about eating healthy, a lot of times I hear people say, oh, I get bored, how much broccoli can I eat? Or, how much cauliflower can I eat? So then, a dietitian once said, don't get bored, get addicted. Get addicted to good food, get addicted to exercise.
Yeah, because we all slip up. Like, I'm
Yes, for sure.
we could bounce around from senior living communities today, and a majority of older adult patients would want ice cream. I want ice cream right now. So we all want to eat foods that aren't good for us. So how are you able to moderate with patients? How do you sell this to them?
So I would say, we all slip up for sure. We all have cravings, and it's okay. It's okay to have, to have a cheat meal. Like those are totally fine. I would say moderation is the key. Just kind of, if you're really craving that chocolate cake, have it. Just maybe have a smaller portion. And also kind of managing your calories throughout the day. If you have big dinner plans, you're going to be eating out, just maybe having a really healthier lunch, just maybe having a salad or some, a lot more protein for your lunch, so you can save those carbs and save those calories for dinner. Like eat for your brain, not for your heart.
No, Shweta, do you have any like real life examples where maybe you treated an older adult patient who had a terrible diet and you were able to get them on a good diet?
Absolutely, yes. So we have a gentleman that I was working with in a senior, and just really very poorly managed diabetes and obese, but again, it was really lack of education, so we talked about what things to eat, like, and we talked about the plate system for patients with diabetes, eating your healthier vegetables first, then followed by little portions of rice, little portions of pasta, and avoiding desserts at all. And if you have to have a dessert, like if you really maybe having dessert once a week as compared to all 7 days a week. So we made those minor changes, We talked about that stuff. We also talked to the director of nursing. We talked to the executive director, the food services director. Like, we educated the kitchen staff, because really, like, I'm not present with the person the whole day, or especially in the dining room. So we even talked to the servers. So anytime, the patients, like, he was slipping up, like, even the kitchen staff would go and remind them.
Mm-hmm.
So just making those little changes, and then he ordered like these almonds and walnuts, and got some string cheese in his apartment, and so was snacking on a healthier foods as compared to snacking on, like, and he was eating like tons of bananas, because in his mind he's like, oh, it's banana, it's healthy, it's just fruit, it's just fruit. But yes, it is fruit, but it also has carbs. It also has sugar. And another important thing that we had to talk him through was, a lot of people especially with diabetes, they see sugar free and they think it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important to remember that sugar free is not carb free. It's still sugar, it's still carbs. So you really don't just have to cut down the sugar, but you really have to cut down on the carbs.
So, Shweta, this is going to sound like a bad dad joke, but you need balance, right? And that's why it's called a balanced
That's why it's called balanced diet.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you bring up a great point with education and strategy, because just speaking with you today, I'm like, okay, like, I'll cut off at 7. I'll have my 3 meals. I'll kind of strategize my calories. If I am going to go big for lunch or dinner, then maybe I'll go a little bit light for breakfast and lunch. And then I also learned today that you can go big for breakfast, which I usually don't do. I usually go small for breakfast. Strategy, education, balance, and then you always got to put exercise in there. Like,
for sure.
That's the key.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's the key. Like, yes, exercise, as I said, it shouldn't be something, it should be just part of your routine. Like, you brush your teeth every day, you exercise every day.
So, Shweta, let's take a quick break. I have a couple more questions to ask you. You've got some time?
Sure.
You got a couple minutes?
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, treat a patient in the next few minutes?
Yes, after we're done, then I will start treating.
All right. So, more with Shweta next on Fox Rehabilitation's Live Better Longer podcast. So as Shweta and I grab a quick drink of water, which is healthy, by the way, very healthy to stay hydrated, I wanted to tell you about a brand new video series that you can find on Fox Rehabilitation's career site. It is called The Fox 5. It is a series that explores the world of Fox Rehabilitation through an original list created by a Fox colleague. So each Fox colleague on each episode, they pick a topic and then they give a 1 through 5 list. And it is a great look at what we do here at Fox Rehabilitation. So if you would like to check out an episode, once again, it's called The Fox 5. You can find it on our career site, careers.foxrehab.org, and click on the blog link. And if you're interested in working with Fox Rehabilitation, while you're on the career site, find out about all of the opportunities awaiting physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech language pathologists, and exercise physiologists. We are back on Fox Rehabilitation's Live Better Longer podcast. I am speaking with Fox physical therapist Shweta Khanna. We are talking about nutrition in senior living communities. And everything that you broke down today applies to any age. Strategy, balance, exercise. Do all the math, like with the calories, if you want to gain weight, if you want to lose weight. Great information today. So, Shweta.
Thank you.
Can you take me through the ideal day of eating and exercising? Let's just go through the perfect day. And by the perfect day, I don't mean just eating like fruits and vegetables, like sneak some sweets in there, sneak some activities in there. What would be like the perfect day in your world?
some people choose to exercise first thing in the day. Some people choose to exercise later in the day. And either or is fine. It's just really whatever you prefer. So you eat your breakfast, you want to have your cup of coffee, that's fine. If you're have your cup of coffee, maybe have some boiled eggs, have a piece of bacon, have a piece of toast, have some avocados. An avocado toast is great. You get your good fats. You get your, choose a multi-grain bread, or a gluten-free bread option. That's always healthier. For a midday snack, maybe, choose a protein bar or choose a string cheese, I would say, or maybe even Greek yogurt.
Okay.
I always put like almonds in my yogurt. Whenever I do eat yogurt, I put like tons of walnuts or almonds in my yogurt. And that way, it's not, because sometimes almonds and walnuts can get dry. So if you mix it in yogurt, it just works for me. And then another tip I have for my listeners is, like, I hear that with my patients. They say, well, walnuts, I do like walnuts, but they're so hard to chew, like they're hard to bite on. If you actually soak almonds in water for a few hours, about 4 or 5 hours, or overnight, you can actually peel them. And then whatever's like the white part of the almond is actually, it gets very soft and it's much easier to chew.
Okay.
Then comes your lunch. So, having, of course, your carbs and your vegetables. So again, eating your vegetables first, eating your protein first, and then saving the smaller portions of rice and your pasta, or, whatever, or noodles, whatever you choose to have. For dessert, you can always have, like a one small piece of dark chocolate. And then, for your afternoon snack, maybe, have some nuts, or like, I usually save my protein bars for the later half of the day, because I like to work out in the evenings.
Okay.
So having that protein right before my workout is also good. So I do that. And then, I work out in the evening, and then, you can have another snack after your workout. A lot of people choose to drink protein shakes. If that works for you, that's fine. And then, a light dinner, like, as I said, cutting out carbs after 7 in the evening would be ideal.
So do you eat after you work out?
Yes. So I eat my dinner after I work out.
Okay.
Yes.
Shweta, last question. What is your food vice? What is one food, it's not great for you, but you got to sneak it in? And sometimes,
oh my God,
maybe
yes.
not even sneak it in. Sometimes maybe you indulge with this food. What is it?
It's a chocolate cake, a dark chocolate cake.
Yeah.
That's easy. I can eat chocolate cake. Like, I try not to, I do try to like moderate and tell myself, we just celebrated my daughter's 7th birthday. So we had this huge chocolate cake with like whipped icing, like 2 of my, like, I love chocolate cake with whipped icing. And, and so much leftover, but I've been telling myself, like, I take a small portion of the cake and put it in my plate. Like, I cut a very small portion and put it in my plate, and I tell myself, this is it, and you're not getting any more than that.
You know what I do? So I'm with you 100%. So if there's ever a party and there's a lot of cake left, I will always make sure to give a big chunk of it to guests. So there's only a little chunk for me. And I know that I can't overindulge because there's only so much cake left.
Yeah, that's another way to go for sure. That's why whenever I bake, like I do, I like to bake with my daughter. So whenever we make cupcakes, I always give them away, because I know if I have them, we'll end up eating them.
Yeah.
So it's all, give away for sure.
Strategy is
the key.
Strategy is the key for a balanced diet. Shweta, thank you so much for the time today.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
So for Shweta Khanna, my name is Jim Shear, and we will see Yins later.